So chapter 9 of Hard Times is called Sissy's Progress, and it's about the fact that basically Sissy feels she's not making any progress in the education system because her emotion is completely at odds with utilitarian philosophy. And we're told that right at the start, halfway down page 57, we're told basically that Mr. Gradgrind pities Sissy because she has wretched ignorance with which Duke clung to the consolation, rejecting the superior comfort of knowing on a sound arithmetical basis that her father was an unnatural vagabond. So basically she won't accept that her dad's left her, and Gradgrind feels real pity because she's ignoring the facts and the arithmetic. But Dickens is making that point that although Gradgrind's looking down, it's not a superior comfort at all. That arithmetic and facts are only going to get you so far. That Sissy's, trust in other people is a far more valuable commodity to have. We're shown that at the bottom of page 57 when she's asked what's the first principle of science, and she says to do unto others as I would that they should do unto me. It's wrong, and Dickens is making the point that science is at odds with genuine religion, not the fake, sort of forced, organised religion that we've had earlier on described in the churches of Coketown. But Sissy's much more spiritual belief in something better. That's seen as completely at odds with science. That's not what science is all about at all. That's not what utilitarianism is about at all. We're told halfway down page 658, we've got Sissy with the dark eyes wonderingly directed to Louisa's face, was uncertain whether to say more or to remain silent. So Sissy is wondering. Remember, chapter 8 is called Never Wonder. So Sissy's, again, completely at odds with Gradgrind's teachings. And she's uncertain whether to say more or remain silent. We've had all these silent women, and now Sissy is unsure whether to speak or not. And there's that idea as the novel goes on, she sort of finds a voice and speaks out, and avoids this fate of a silent woman. At the end, Sissy is happy, has kids. We're told on page 59 about how basically she gets things wrong at school. So she's asked about, isn't this a thriving state? She's told the facts, told the numbers, and told how rich Britain is. At the time, it was the height of the British Empire, and there was a lot of wealth in Britain, but there was also a lot of poverty. And Sissy ironically sees that truth. She says about a quarter of the way down page 59. She says, I said I didn't know. I thought I couldn't know whether it was a prosperous nation or not, and whether I was in a thriving state or not, unless I knew who had got the money and whether any of it was mine. In other words, Sissy's seen the truth that actually Britain can be as wealthy as possible, but if the wealth is unequally divided, then actually it's not any good at all. As she goes on, she's asked about the amount of people who are starving, and she says, halfway down page 59, I thought it must be just as hard upon those who were starved, whether the others were 1 million or 1 million, and that was wrong too. So again, she's seeing actually the simple facts, that this is a system where, yes, we've got numbers, and yes, we've got wealth in theory, but actually there's no emotion, there's no care, there's no compassion for those people who genuinely are starving. Slightly further down page 59, Sissy calls them stuttering. She doesn't say statistics, she calls them stutterings. And Dickens is making that point really as an author, as somebody who uses words, that statistics are completely against the imagination, completely against his art as an author. He has no respect for them at all. And then on to page 61, we're told that Sissy was told stories about halfway down. She was told stories, the Arabian Nights. Her dad had tell her the stories of the Arabian Nights. That's ironic because Dickens at the end of chapter 2 made a reference to Mr. Macholcomchild being like a villain in the Arabian Nights, cutting off the heads of the children. So Dickens has already referred to these Arabian Nights, and now we find out that Sissy was told stories by her dad that were the Arabian Nights stories. So again, the narrator is very, very deliberately linking himself up with Sleary, with Sissy's dad, with all these circus folk, and completely against Gradgrind and against the utilitarians. And then when we get onto page 63, the final page of the chapter, that's referenced again. So we're told on page 63, second line down, Miss Louisa, I keep the 9 oils ready for him and I know he will come back. So Sissy's got that simple trust in her dad that he's going to return. We know he probably won't. We know that she's wrong in this. But again, her trust in her dad is linked to the 9 oils, this symbol of medicine, this symbol of healing. So Sissy's trust in others is linked to her ability to heal and to make things better. And that's the point. Dickens says facts don't really matter. It doesn't matter that the dad's left. What matters is that Sissy believes that he'll come back. It's that trust. We're told halfway down page 63, the trembling of Sissy's lip would be repeated in Louisa's face, and her eyes would follow Sissy with compassion to the door. So we're seeing again Sissy's power in through her emotion to bring out the best in other people. That's shown later on with Jane and with Louisa. They get this emotion from Sissy and from her sort of radiating. She's been compared to the sun in chapter 2. She's radiating this emotion that the others are reflecting back on her. And basically every time that she asks whether her father's coming back and told that he's not, she gets really disappointed. And we're told at the bottom, at about this point, Mr. Gradgrind's eye would fall upon her, and under the influence of that wintry piece of fact, she would become torpid again. So, in contrast to Sissy, Gradgrind is presented as somebody who silences these women, he makes them torpid, okay, because of his glare, because of his trust in facts, because he represents a patriarchy. What's interesting as well, it's called a wintry piece of fact. Remember the book titles, Sowing, Reaping, Garnering, linked to spring, summer and autumn. And I said earlier on that the implication is almost that things are going to get worse, that winter's coming at the end of the book. Remember, Dickens is writing at a time when there's a real threat of revolution in the 1800s. It's happened in France, there's a threat of it happening in Britain with people like Slackbridge and these trade union leaders. And it's described as a wintry piece of fact. So Dickens is linking winter, this is linked to the sun, but the winter is linked with Gradgrind, the idea that things are going to get worse because of utilitarianism, because of these facts. Dickens is suggesting that things are going to get worse unless we stop them and we change the meaning of let it be from laissez-faire to just let children be children, let things go on naturally, which is what's represented by Sissy.